Okay, we're going to do the photography drop. So really, the photographer doesn't have to go too much into Workhorse. Nobody from the Sports Authority photography team actually goes into Workhorse, except for possibly the manager. Most of the time, it comes from the shot sheet or the barcode or any number of ways we actually tag our product. The photographer just has to push products to a different location. So, I made a Betsy Johnson piece of photography. It's lovely. Here it is in Photoshop. It is a document. Alright. The biggest change that's going to happen for anybody is that Workhorse needs to see the differences between our files because it sort of collects everything in one location and moves it along. I'll explain that better here. In the photography drop zone is everybody's name. That's a photographer. Okay? Here's Jolene, and here's John Mark. Okay? Betsy images, like when we push any image, it goes into, like, if let's say Jolene was going to start shooting for Sports Authority, she'd always be using the Jolene folder. If someone who starts shooting for Wilson's, it's the same folder. So it has to see them differently. So we've had to add prefixes to the front of all the file names. One of which, in Betsy's case, is BTSY-. Okay? When you're shooting, what we've done here is made a barcode up that we just tape on everybody's desk. And because every client actually has now a new little prefix. And you scan that, then you scan the other barcode, boom, you get your file name. No big deal at all. What happens is with Betsy, or anybody else here, is when you push an image, and this is the beauty behind Workhorse, is you save out an image, it's going to move it for you. So we're going to go, pretend we're a photographer, click, save as, and we're going to go to the photography drop zone, and I'll show you where this location is in a second. John Mark, you're going to shoot this one, please. Photoshop. That's going to be a complete file name. You're going to save it there, close this up. Okay. There's your file. Oop, don't want to do that. There's the file for John Mark now. So, in his folder, it's photo repo, partners, photography drop, and then the name of the photographer. We'll do that the old way too. Okay? Go here, connect to photo repo. Okay, photo repo. In photo repo, partners, photography drop. Now, I've labeled the ones that matter to anybody, but, you know, I don't know if you can see our labels or not, or if you can see yours. And then here's Swarm J, and there's our new file. I'm going to pause this because it takes about 10 minutes. Workhorse comes along and checks everything in every directory for every 10 minutes for every partner. So you have to wait 10 minutes sometimes, so you'll see things sit there for a little bit. And it's also, it has a maximum of 100 it can move at a time. So let's say, I don't know, Kate Eldridge here got very zealous and all of a sudden shot 200 things all at once, and she dropped them into her folder. There's a chance that it might take 100 of her files, the next 100, before it moves on to John Mark's. But just FYI, in case you see things slowing up. Okay. As you can see, the file is now gone on Mark's folder. And here is the Betsy Johnson post in the stock folder. It is now labeled with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because the SLA is 7 days. So, in theory, if Maggie received something on the first day, and there wasn't a shoot for 2 days, and she received it, and John Mark or Jolene shot, this file, that is the Betsy Johnson file that we made, would have been placed into day 4. And there is a way actually to override that, but we'll get into that later. But for now, that is the photography procedure. If for some reason, we will also do this too, which I'm going to take this image and drop one into the John Mark folder again, but this time with a bad naming convention, and we'll see what happens then. I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so I rigged one of the files to fail. I took the same file and photography drop error. Okay, here is the same file we have here, right? I made one simple change to it. I put a space right there. It emailed and said, hey, everybody here at BTSY Images, John Mark, put this file here. It errored out, and it put it in Photo Bros Partners Workhorse Error Photography Drop error folder. That is a producer's job now, usually to go figure out what the error was and then redrop it. So I just took the space out, and let's say this wasn't here right now, but let's say this was just an honest mistake and it was the first time it's being shot. The producer would typically go and fix the file name and then take it and do the photography drop again. Oops. Right there. Which would then, again, set the clock to put it back over here again. And that's pretty much the shooting experience for the photographer, though. The photographer really just needs to pay more attention to where they're putting files. Once they have a script set up, or they have a pretty decent situation where they're hitting a button and it's always going here, there's not much to do. It's mostly going to be issues with naming. If the prefix isn't there, it's going to fail. If there's a space in the file name, it's going to fail. If the file name isn't in Workhorse, it's going to fail. Those are the situations where it's really good to look out for. Next, we'll do post-production.